Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ibrahim Qureshi here and welcome to the VMware tutorial for beginners session 6. So today I thought I'll introduce a complete new topic which wasn't in the agenda, which is how to deploy a virtual machine appliance. If you remember, in the previous video I showed you how to create a new virtual machine, and I think this fits in very nicely to continue that topic, although this is a little bit towards templates, which we'll cover later on, but it fits in very nicely to the previous topic which we covered. So I thought, let's do this video and finish this topic of deploying a virtual machine and deploying a virtual machine appliance. So let's discuss what is an appliance. So a device or a piece of equipment designed to perform a specific task. So in general terms, we find appliances in our house, really. Don't you agree? Obviously, kitchen appliances in a sense. Obviously they have a certain task. Obviously a microwave is an appliance. It has a task to heat up things, so it's designed to do a thing. But what we are discussing here is a virtual appliance, and that is a pre-configured virtual machine image ready to run on the hypervisor. Can anyone guess what hypervisor we are using here? 1, 2, 3, go. Comment on below. Yeah, and that is right. If you guessed ESXi is the hypervisor, well done. Okay, so let's move on. I was researching a little bit about this topic and I found a really nice VMware white paper on VMware virtual appliance solutions. So on there, this is the snip for what VMware classes as a virtual machine. So basically, I just want to go through some difference between a virtual appliance and a virtual machine. So obviously, as you can see, virtual machine is a encapsulation of an entire PC environment, which includes obviously OS, application, and other data. But the difference here is, as it says, however, user must still configure the virtual hardware, which we did in the previous video, if you remember, the guest operating system. So we ended up installing a Windows 10 OS and guest application before putting a virtual machine into an operation. So over here, when you compare to virtual appliance, obviously it does incorporate virtual hardware and OS, but what the main purpose of it, a virtual appliance differs from virtual machine in that they are delivered to customer as a custom build or a pre-configured piece of OS. All you have to do is obviously deploy it in your environment and you are ready to go, really. And that basically eliminates the need for you to manually configure any virtual machine and the operating system and the application running in it. Okay, so let's discuss a little bit on different types of appliance which we can have. So we have OVF, which is open virtualization format. We have open virtualization appliance, OVA, and then we have another one which is known as just enough operating system, JEOS. So as you can see, this is your physical hardware. You have your hypervisor virtualization layer, and then you have your just enough OS running, or and you have your just enough OS running here, which is really an operating system, and then you have your appliance here. So what can happen is, obviously this can be classed as a single appliance, really, the JEOS and app, which could be OVF. Okay, so let's quickly get into a demo for you guys. So what I have decided today is give you guys a demo of something which a few of my good friends are requested before. So and obviously some of the users have also commented about this. So I'm an SME on Cisco UCS as well, along with VMware. So Quite a lot of people have been asking me when am I going to start teaching Cisco UCS. So obviously, to start off with teaching that, Cisco has a really nice emulator to emulate the Cisco UCS platform. So I thought of doing that. So if you search Cisco UCS Emulator 3.2 is the latest version. So, and then you'll find this website, which is Cisco UCS Emulator, and it shows the support, what's supported, what's the limitations, and the emulator, as you can see here, is in OVA, which is an appliance. So I have already downloaded this. All you have to do is have a basic Cisco account to download this, which is called SSO account, I think. So if you click on it, it allows you to download it. Simple as that. For me, basically, because I'm already registered, it doesn't ask me. I think I will cancel this, to be honest, because I have already downloaded this. So I have got it on my machine in the temp directory in Cisco, and you can see it's over here. I have gone through some of the release notes, and some of the features which I like about this emulator is it has support for hardware which is B200M5. Those who are familiar with this, they will know that. Okay, so let's get started. To upload, and also I have the older emulator running here, UCSM 3.12, and I'm going to install this one. I'm going to show you how to install 3.23e. I was obviously I just installed it before this demo, so just to have a quick look. So this is how you do it. To deploy a template, right click on the host and just select deploy OVF template. Simple as that. And then you'll see a lot of difference here. When we were doing a installation of a virtual machine, you had a lot of stuff here, like configuring CPU, memory, and the hardware. You choose the disk and everything. Over here there's not a lot, as you can see. So we select local because I have it on local drive, and then it's in my temp directory and Cisco, and let's select the file and click next. So the name, I'm going to change it to Cisco instead of UCSPE, which is Platform Emulator. I'm going to name it UCSM, something like that, in lowercase actually, UCSM. Next. So we are going to review everything which we have given now. As you can see in the review details, you can see that the download OVF was around 2 gig, and it's thin provisioned. If it is thick provisioned, then it will be 20 gig. So the download size was less than 2 gig actually. So this gives you a rough idea how much storage you will be looking at when you deploy it. So I won't be doing a thick provisioning, I will be just doing a thin provisioning, and we'll be selecting the local data store on my server. Hang on, let's go back. Thick, no way, I need to change it to thin. Next. So the only thing you need to do in this deployment is, because this is the beauty of Appliance, you do not need to configure anything. All you have to do is, once you obviously install, if in your environment you need to set it with the IP address, you can go ahead and give an IP. In my environment I have a DHCP server running. Once this get deployed and we power it on, it will pick up a new IP address from my DHCP server and it will be ready running on that IP. So as you can see at the bottom here, importing OVF package, that's completed, and then it's basically deploying it now. So shouldn't take much time. With experience I have seen that. So I have unpaused the recording. So as you can see, it's 81% import and deployment is 88%. So we're nearly done, and as you can see, it's getting deployed. Just below the older version of the emulator which I have running, which is 3.1, and that's completed. Okay, so let's quickly go ahead and power this on. Select it first and power on. Yeah, let's see. So this is expected. So connection to virtual disk serial doesn't correspond. So sometimes you get a message saying, is this asking you, is this a copied machine, or is this, you know, so you need to be aware. And by the way, if you're using a newer version of HTML5, which is HTML5 client, you will see this message, but there is no other way to click and acknowledge this. So let's refresh it again. The old client does have a bad habit of, you know, just keeping things hung. So answer is completed. It's asking another answer. So cannot connect to the virtual source. Click again. Okay, now it is powering on. Now this is a web console, and also if I normally want to launch the remote console, which is a little bit easier to manage. As you can see, this is the appliance, so it is highly customized virtual machine created by Cisco for emulating the Cisco UCS platform. So as you can see, it's saying Cisco UCS Platform Emulator 3.23e. So when this gets completely booted up, it will pick up an IP address and it will show me this is the IP you need to connect to, and I can connect to it, and it emulates the entire Cisco UCS manager, a full-fledged domain. So it will have, I guess obviously when it loads up, you can see, quickly see what it can do, and you can understand it. Let's just quickly wait for this to load up. Okay, so it has taken a little bit longer than expected to boot this emulator. It is the OVF template which we have deployed. So it is saying that it's connected on 192. It has received an IP address 192.168.1.190. Let's get connected to that and see how it is doing. 168.1.190, right? Yes, looks like it's loading. There you go, UCS Platform Emulator. So as you can see on the equipment over here on the left pane, this is purely because it's an emulator. We have this menu here. If you are having a UCS domain, you know that you'll only have this screen when you connect. So let's see what we have. So we have got, so this is an emulator from Cisco UCS. It's called UCS Platform Emulator, and we have a couple of chassis, 4 chassis here, and 3 servers in these chassis. And we have 19 rack servers, and we have our fabric interconnect, which will be a fabric A and B. So let's launch the actual UCS manager. Name now. Let's connect the name, and it's UCSM, UCSPE, UCSPE. So mentioning before, so there's quite a few of my friends, and there are some other people who commented to me, some of them on LinkedIn, really personal messages asking me whether I can obviously start teaching UCS as well. So I guess this will be a first step for you guys. I'll tag you guys when I post this, to install a UCS emulator at your home labs and get started from there. So as you can see, this is the chassis. So it has full width servers in the chassis. The chassis itself has power modules at the bottom. At the back of the chassis you have some fan modules. So because this is an emulator, it doesn't put any fan modules, but you have IO modules at the back, which is for the network, and you have power supply units, which you saw. So you can check each and every component anyway. And also you can click on the hybrid view, which pretty much takes you to a completely hybrid sort of view. So those are the UCS fabric. Cisco UCSM is UCS Manager is running on these pair of fabric A and B. One will be the primary, the other will be the subordinate. At the back of the chassis is these two emulators, sorry, these two IO modules. So this is yeah, it looks pretty good. So it even has a degraded chassis here, which is good for people who want to learn really how to, you know, recommission and stuff. And this chassis has some errors, connectivity to the chassis. So it emulates a really generic environment where you are seeing some error messages, some, you know, issues on some of the chassis. So I would strongly suggest, if you want to go through learning Cisco UCS Manager, then follow me. At some point you'll be learning that, and I'll be posting some really good videos on UCSM and how to work with UCS Manager, UCS Central. Yeah, so I think that's about it. So let's quickly go back to the slides and see whether we have missed something. So we have done the demo, how to create a OVF. So this is the last step. To select the desired virtual machine you want to make a OVF, and then right click or click on actions on the top and click on template, and then export as OVF template. So here people may ask, how do you create a OVF first? So if you remember, not too long ago we created a test Windows machine, and this was when I was doing the demo for creating a new VM. I can right click on that. We'll use this as an example. I can right click on that, go to template, and then in template you'll find export OVF template. Click on that, and then it will ask you for the name, and then that's it. So we can say hyphen OVF hyphen demo. Okay, and then click OK. So it prepares it for download first, and then you can download it once it's ready. There you go. It's come up somewhere here, just blocked by my pop-up blocker. There you go, demo. So if I say allow and then click, and it has started downloading here. So that's how you actually create a OVF template, and then that template now has any configuration you have done for the OS and any tools you have installed, any applications you have installed within that, and then you can just give it to someone who wants to use it, and then they can deploy it from there. So as you can see, the deployment, if you want to create OVF, is quite simple and straightforward process. Obviously, if you are a developer and you basically maybe created some deployment on or software on your own machine, and then you want to distribute it as a complete appliance, then you can obviously create a OVF and distribute it to your clients really, and it's a quick way of getting someone else start using your application as well. So hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe. You can reach me on Twitter at Ibrahim Qureshi, and everything I'm posting on my YouTube you will find on my blog, which is ibrahimqureshi.com. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, I want you to share it with your friends on social media so that they can benefit it as well. So the question of the day today, guys, is, if you remember, can you let me know on the comments below what is JEOS and what is OVA. So thank you very much for watching. Keep sharing and exploring new technologies. Cheers. Bye.